Hey guys, I'm going to talk to you now about essential functions test. So before, I don't know why I didn't mention this before. I just remembered this the other day. I've done this twice. So I don't know why I didn't remember it. But there is a test in between before you get hired with the company. It's called the essential functions test. Now, this goes on also when you go take that DOT physical. Now, the DOT physical is a physical where they do the alcohol test, drug tests, your eye tests, color blindness, your BMI, all those type of things. Essential functions test is different. I don't know why I did not remember to tell you guys this, but the essential functions test is when they take you. Now, the first time I took the essential functions test, I took it at the bus garage. The bus was sitting outside waiting for me. And when they took me to the bus, the first thing they asked me was, can you squat down to see? They had a piece of paper on the tire, like placed in front of the tire, kind of like a chalk, but instead of, a chalk is in front of the wheel like this. The piece of paper was standing against the wheel like this. And they said, can you bend down to see that letter? And it was A, I think. And then they asked me to bend down and see another letter at a different tire. So basically, they were testing to see if I could squat down, like if I could move my body in that type of way. Not everybody could squat because they got bad knees, bad ankles, whatever, a bad back. But they asked me if I could do it, and I did it. I was so determined to do it, and I was pregnant. They didn't know I was pregnant. I didn't tell them I was pregnant when I first started. But this was back in 2012. And then, so the next part, they had me to get up on the bus. And when I got on the bus, they wanted to see if I could reach the emergency hatch. So the emergency hatch is the one that's on the roof of the bus. Now, we use that hatch for air vent also because some buses, well, the buses that we drive now, they don't have windows. Like they have windows, but they don't have windows where you can open them to get air. So we use that hatch all the time for air for the passengers, or it's all kind of body odors and germs on the bus. So you're gonna make sure that you open it, get some fresh air. You don't want to be breathing in that recirculated air all the time, and you're the one driving. So we use that for not emergency, but air vent. But it's used for that. It says that. But that emergency hatch is used for if the bus flips over on its side. Lord forbid any one of y'all flip the bus. Please don't go around no curbs super fast. Don't do it. It's not worth it. But it's used for if there's emergency and the bus flips on its side. They want to know, can you reach that hatch? They just want to know if you can reach it. You got to push it in. You use both hands to push it up and it'll pop out. And then you use both hands. It has some little finger slots where you pull it like this from both, like at the same time. Don't pull it one side and the other side because it's going to go. Sometimes it won't pull down on one side. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. But they want to make sure that you can reach that hatch. Because it could be any type of emergency. Let's say that you can't get the other ones open and that's the only option. Like you making a human ladder to get out of there. They got to know that you can reach it and you can close it. Okay, the next emergency situation is like the emergency exits. You're not going to perform the emergency exit part. They just want to know that you are familiar with it because it could be any type of emergency on the bus, especially depending on where you live. You might be driving in a real urban area, or you might be driving somewhere where you get a lot of natural disasters. You don't know. The next thing they had me perform was to see if I could turn the wheel. They had me sit down, see if I can turn the wheel. I'm turning a little bit. Now the bus is off. They want to make sure I can reach things, I can reach the pedals. Because, you know, you can be short. And the seat moves, though. So, you shouldn't be a really small person. I don't want to make anybody mad. You shouldn't be super, super small trying to drive the bus. And when I say small, I mean like a child size small. You shouldn't be that small trying to drive the bus. So, really, that first essential functions test was literally not long. You have to excuse me. I have children here. They're knocking on the door. They will not let me get any peace. So, the first essential functions test was quite easy. I got kids here. They're cleaning carpets. So, excuse any noise, people. Golly, we do have lives outside of the videos. So, the second essential functions test was more than the first one. So, I have been a bus operator since 2012. I was fired in 2019 due to my attendance. I was in a domestic violence or violent marriage. So, it messed with my attendance. I ended up getting fired for it. And I came back in 2023. So I had to redo everything. So when I went to take this second essential functions test, it wasn't outside. There was no bus. It was at the same place where I would take my DOT. But it was on the opposite side. It looked like a physical therapy area. I was like, wow, I ain't never been over here after all these years. Because you have to get your DOT renewed every 1 year or every 2 years. But when you're starting a new job, like a transit job, they normally require you to have a 2 year, at least a 1 year DOT. So you have to renew it every 1 year or 2 year, depending on if you have health issues or not. So I am there looking crazy as H because I'm like, this not what I remember. But I think because of COVID, it changed. So I'm in there. The lady gets my name and everything. And she sits me down at a desk that has a steering wheel, a 20-inch steering wheel. Oh, excuse me. Golly. I got all these distractions going on, but I'm still trying to post this video. I'm getting a little frustrated. But it's okay. I can handle it. I'm a bus operator. I can handle it. You can do it. But anyway. So, when she started that essential functions test, she sat me down in this chair. It was like a desk with a 20-inch steering wheel on it. It had the gears and everything. It had the mirrors on it. Like, I was like, what are we doing? And when I sat down, I know, if I think about it, one of the first things she had me do was to see if I can see out of the side mirrors. You know, can you see out this mirror? Can you see out this mirror? What do you see? What do you see? And I told her what I saw. And okay, I got that right. So the next thing she asked me to do was turn the steering wheel to the left. Now, I had been working out, lifting weights and everything. So what they was testing for was to see if the power steering went out, or like it had a power steering leak or something. Basically, the power steering went out. Would you be able to turn the bus to get it to safety? That stuff was hard. I was like, but I did it. But I had never had that test. Like the first essential functions test. I had never done that for like a power steering incident. And I had to turn it left and right. I also had to apply the brake, like apply pressure on the brake. Like they had the pedals and everything. Like I thought I was about to play a race car game, because that's the setup you want when you playing a race car game. So she wanted to see if I can apply pressure to both the brake and the gas. But more so it was the brake. And if I'm saying something wrong, guys, put it in the comments. But I'm just going off of memory here, because that was only one time I had to do that. I've taken the DOT physical like 6-7 times. So that's not nothing new to me. And you know, I've had babies, so I've always had to go back and do portions of that DOT physical over. I've had C-sections, so of course. But this essential functions test was the first time I ever had it like this, and I thought it was due to COVID. Or you know, people were literally passing the easy essential functions test, but they were have accidents or something like that. So you'll see a transportation company hike it up, like for Metro or any bus operating job. You used to need only a chauffeur's license, not anymore. You got to go through testing because you know some people messed it up somewhere to where they have to scrutinize everything that you're doing. So next, after she had me apply the pressure to the brake or the pedals, she took me over to this table and it was kind of low. And I guess it was to resemble if I'm looking under the bus. Remember the first essential functions test, I had to look up under the bus at the tire to see if I could see a letter. She had letters under there, so she wanted me to squat down and see if I could see a letter. Now, mind you, my knees are not as good as they used to be. Not like 2012. I used to be a dancer, exotic dancer before I started Metro or, you know, being a bus operator. So, yeah, I could squat. But that's many moons ago. So, I'm squatting a certain way. She was like, just squat down like this. In my mind, it don't matter. Long as I can see that letter. I told her the letter, I think it was A and D or something like that. Got that. But she was looking at how I was getting down there. But you can't get on the ground. You have to be still off the ground. Like, no knee on the ground. No putting both knees on the ground then looking doggy style. No, none of that. So, that's what I did. I was able to do it. Them knees was screaming, but I did it. When you want it bad enough, you'll do it. So then she had me do a push-pull test. And I'm like, this is definitely, yes, ma'am, this is new. This is new. So the push-pull test, she had this like, it looked like a multimeter, but it wasn't a multimeter. And she had it hooked up to something like the pull test. And she had it hooked onto something, and it was like this hanging down. So I had to pull as hard as I could, and they was looking for a specific number. So say if they were looking for 50. And so I'm pulling. I told you I was lifting weights. That thing went woof, and she said, that's good enough. That's good. But I always had strength, you know, so it wasn't like I wasn't going to get it if I wasn't lifting weights. I just was working out because I had to get my BMI down for that physical. So I had already did the physical, but I was still working out continuously. So the push test, it was kind of like that same thing, but the top was different. It was flat, like a flat top like this. So the machine had a flat top instead of had that hook and then hanging from the other thing for the pull test. Push test, it had a flat top like this. So then she had me push it against the wall to see how hard I could push. And again, the numbers were off the charts. Of course, what? Girl, I'm going to put my body weight into it. You see all of this? So I was pushing real hard. And so I got that score right. It's another little mini test she had me to do, but I cannot think of it. And I'm so sorry, y'all. But it was like a mini test to take a minute or two. Like a minute for her to explain, another minute for me to do it. And I don't know. I can't even tell you. I don't know if it was like stand behind the line and see if you can carry something. But the thing to carry wasn't too high. So the last thing I do remember is she wanted to know if I can step up onto something and then step back down, but on one leg. So I started at the ground level, kind of like a step box, the smallest step box. So I stepped up and she wanted me to step back down. I stepped up. She wanted me to step back down. I think we had to do it 3 times, and then she wanted me to do it with the other leg. But like I told you, I had been working out, doing 10,000 steps a day and cardio, lifting weights. I was doing everything. So this was a walk in the park, except that squatting. Ma'am, I haven't worked on the knees yet. I have not worked on the muscles surrounding the knee or that helps the knee out. I haven't got there yet. Somebody should have warned me, but it was okay. I still passed. You guys still could pass. But that's basically what the essential functions test is. If y'all have to excuse when I say essential functions test, you try to say that fast. Essential functions. Like, keep messing up. Essential functions test. When you take that, that's also to secure your job. If you can't bend down, if you can't pull, if you can't push, if you can't step up, step back down, that's all the job is. All it is. That is all the job is. If you cannot do that, if you can't see in your peripheral, if you can't look in those mirrors and see what's back there behind you, you're driving a 60-foot bus, 40-foot bus, 30-foot. I don't care if it's your car. You got to be able to turn your neck. That's another thing. They want to make sure you can turn your neck to see. You can't just be up there driving like this. No, you have to look. Use those windows to see what's on the side of you. Like, look through them. They're not just for passengers to look out the window. No, they're for you to look out the window too, to make your moves or to see passengers so you won't run people over. You know, a lot of operators was trained because, you know, the company I work for, we have like the shuttle where it's like call a ride for like disabled or ADA passengers. They don't want to have to get on the bus. They can get that little small shuttle. And then you got the bus operators, which is me. I drive anywhere from a 30-foot bus to a 60-foot bus. It just depends on which route I'm driving. Certain routes need certain buses, but the rules are the same. And then you have the train operators who drive the fast transit trains or whatever you want to call them. The Metrolink. That take you from different little stops so you can get on different buses or get in different areas of the city or the county. Well, right now, it's a little bit of the county, but it's mostly city. And across state lines, the Metrolink, which is the train. Our subway, if you want to call it. But all those rules are the same. Especially that looking part. You got to be looking. Your eyes got to be moving, and your brain got to be computing. They got to see how you are, your reflexes, your reaction times. They need to know all of that before you get out there and kill somebody. And you need to know all of that. You know, so it's good to pay attention and watch these videos. I know that some stuff you may want to go into more details about. Just ask me questions if I didn't answer it here. Because I'm rambling off the top of my brain. And that essential functions test, like I told you, that was new. That was a new thing. That wasn't even something I had done before. So I try to tell you the best of my knowledge. But I apologize if I didn't get it all. I'm so sorry. But that is, you got to get that done too in order to secure the job. You got the physical. You got to get that essential functions done. And I think they make an appointment for the essential functions test. Now, the DOT physical, you can come in. Once you get your paperwork, your authorization form, so they can pay for it and not you, you can go. You need to have it done by, I guess they'll give you a few days, but why wait? Get that thing done that day. Why wait? And go back and look at that DOT physical video so you can be prepared. Especially with somebody that got maybe high blood pressure or something. There's some tips on that video telling you what to do so you can secure your job. If you like me, you don't like to sit in the offices and stuff. I like to see some scenery and run my mouth. Hey guys. So Go back and look at the first videos. But you have your permit, then you have your DOT, then you get your license. Oh wait, no. Let me take that back. You have your permit, then you get the job. You get the offer. When you get the offer, they send you to get your DOT and do your essential functions test. You get all of that done, guess what? You secure the job. They ain't finna spend money on you if they ain't want to give you the job. You secured the job. Next, they train you. That's when I was talking about the pre-trip and driving techniques and maneuvers for you to go take that exam, the driving exam, to get your license. So then that's when the good stuff starts. All the training, all the defensive driving techniques, all of that stuff. So you can be good out there on your own. So I'll make another video about those things that they're going to teach you. Now, this stuff I'm good at. I've done this 2-3 times. Mind you, I just told y'all I had got fired, so I came back. So I had to do it a couple times. So I'll let you guys know. And I'm still a bus operator right now. So I got some tips and tricks. Or just so you can look like you've been working on it, or you know somebody that doing what you're trying to do. These defensive driving tips and all that stuff will work in your car. It will work also if you're going to go drive a semi or tractor trailer, whatever you call it. Or a shuttle bus, small bus, or a box truck. So it's just don't apply to a bus operator. It applies to anything you're driving. So you guys have a good night. I'm getting out of here. I got to finish my detox. Check those videos out. I'm detoxing and fasting and losing weight. So check those out. I got those on here too. Have a good night.